Now, we are not asking to crowdfund so much money this time. The target is 22,000. Hui Hui has raised about 4,000 so far. We are about 18,000 short. I ask you to be generous and to donate to her cause. And it is a very important cause. I said this in my first video, and I want to reiterate here the point. The point is this. When the vaccine mandate came in, I think it was in 2020, many people were uncomfortable. And they had the right to be uncomfortable. Because to them, this was not a proven vaccine. This was an experimental vaccine. Alright? Hui Hui and 5 other courageous Singaporeans took out a judicial review challenge of the government's vaccine mandate, which prevented, at that time, people unvaccinated, like Hui Hui, from even going to their place of work. Well, the government may say, oh no, that's only an advisory and all that. But you tell me, which Singaporean employer, when faced with that type of advisory, or what I'd rather term a directive, would actually allow the employee to go back to the workplace? And the anecdotal evidence is there. People lost their jobs. Alright? And then when we went to court, we were unsuccessful. MOH, they wheeled out their so-called expert who said, oh no, our data was wrong. The vaccine would prevent transmission, alright, would prevent deaths and serious illnesses. You know what? I mean, with the greatest respect to the judge who decided this case, alright? And I may criticize the judgment, but I'm always respectful of the courts. Yeah? But every person has a right to say, in his opinion, that judgment is wrong. But what makes me angry today is, you know what? It has now surfaced in forums like the European Parliament that Pfizer did not actually test, alright, or had the vaccine proven to prevent transmission. Yeah? And now doctors are openly talking about it. And they say the unvaccinated would have greater risk of death and serious injury. No. The data we went to court with didn't show that. And you know what? It was unfortunate that a lot of data did not go before the Singapore court. We were cut off at the 31st of December 2021. We were not allowed to adduce evidence after that, because the evidence after the 31st of December 2021 was progressively favorable to the unvaccinated in the racial numbers. And now, you know, all over the world, there is a brouhaha. People are questioning all these excess deaths. Yeah? I'm telling you, Singaporeans, this is not the end of the matter. I predict that in the coming months this year, there will be a big scandal. There will be huge litigation all over the world. Governments will be hauled before the courts. Alright? Because you cannot hide excess deaths. Okay? You cannot give bullshit arguments that, oh, it's the elderly who are dying off or whatever. Yeah? And yesterday night I watched a video and I was shocked by the numbers. You know, America, which is one of the most vaccinated countries in the world, I think about 80% of its population are vaccinated, had about 3,000 deaths out of 1 million, yeah, because of COVID. An African country called Niger, Niger, I think the vaccination rate was pittance. It was something like 12% or even less, 5%. Do you know what was the death rate? It was like about 12 in 1,000. Now, why is it that a less vaccinated country, a backward country like Niger, has less deaths than America, the champion of the vaccine. So mark my words, this year and in the coming years, there is going to be an explosion of litigation. All right? And all those people who told the world that you have to be vaccinated, all right, to keep yourself safe, and who force people to vaccinate, they are going to be hauled before the courts.
Hui Hui, Lim Tian mentioned earlier that it's very expensive to have children in Singapore. Do you know one of our public universities sent a letter to one of their alumnus who donated money to the university, and in that letter, right, the university said that 3 in 10 students were struggling financially, or something like that lah. So you have 3 children, how?
The thing is, 3 in 10 students who are financially struggling are still in university. Do you know that most of the people who are from lower income family, such as below 2,000 per family unit, per household, they don't actually get to study in university at all. In fact, the Singapore government actually came out with this statistic saying that, I think about half of the people from, less than half, I think 3 or 4 people from lower income family can get to enter university. But the thing is, lower income family actually make up most of the Singapore population. So they are not in university, which means that they probably, because of the financial environment of the family, right, they study until secondary school, they need to go out and work, or they have no choice, they need to go to polytechnic to get a diploma and then come out and work. They don't even have the chance to enter university at all. So that is actually a bigger issue.
Hui Hui, let me tell you something. If PV is the government, you can be sure that your 3 children will have free education right up to university. All right? But you will not get this under the PAP, who would rather spend hundreds of millions of dollars every year on scholarships for foreign students. You know something? If PV is in government, yes, we will give out scholarships to foreign students, but that is going to be drastically reduced. You know, when I was a student in England, there were no scholarships given by the British government to foreign students to the extent that the PAP gives out scholarships to foreign students here. Yeah, you may have a sprinkling of scholarships, you know, like the Commonwealth scholarships or whatever, and I'm not even sure that the British government sponsors that or funds that. And then if you're lucky enough and you go to some richer colleges, for example in Oxbridge, all right, yes, you get funding because they have a very strong program. Well, all of a sudden I can't remember that word, endowment program. I went to a college in Cambridge which is very well endowed. So I had half my fees paid. But that was by the college itself. Yeah. So, you know, again I raised this thing about the TFR. Recently, 2 Harvard professors wrote a book. The names are difficult to pronounce. The title of the book is called How Democracies Die. All right? And in it they said, no society which promotes the influx of immigrants to a level where the immigration population exceeds the native population ever succeeds. They die. And it is true.